What's up, everybody, and welcome to the iHeart Wrestling Podcast, episode number 4. I'm one of your hosts, TJ Stokes, and alongside me at the pride of Long Island, Tyler Overstreet.
Hey guys, how you doing? We're back finally after what, 6 months?
I think the last episode was February,
I believe so. I don't know.
so almost 6 months. See, that's the thing, guys. Like, we got busy with school, and you know how it is. It just generally things happen. We still were killing it with Universe Mode, though. They can't take that away from us. So. But essentially our plan now that summer has fully started for us, we're going to bring back the podcast in full effect. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, which I know a lot of you guys are, it has a new look and it looks better than ever, as long as I did my job correctly. And we're still on iTunes and Spreaker, and we're going to be moving to more platforms. And our plan for the school year is going to be to continue to give you the episodes every Thursday at 9 a.m. for the YouTube video. But the podcast might come out on Wednesday nights on iTunes and stuff like that, just because it would be easier for us. So that's just keeping it realistic. So summertime is going to be cool, whatever, but it's going to be easier in the come school time for you guys. If you want to get it early, check it out on iTunes and stuff like that. It'll probably be out probably the night before instead of 9 a.m. when the video drops. So, and sometimes it might be a little delayed and you might get it like Thursday nights. Just keep that in mind come school, when the school year kicks off, because we are still in school. So keep that in mind throughout everything and bear with us. But we're going to make sure, even if it kills us, we're going to have an episode every week, and we're going to continuously try not to miss a week, no matter what. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult, but we're going to do our best. And that's the one thing we could say. So yeah, I think that's cool. Like, Tyler, like, there's been a lot going on in wrestling since like the last time we did one of these.
Oh yeah, a lot of shit. But I guess we're gonna have to cover some of it today.
Like, a lot of it is just like we're gonna periodically get through some of the stuff that we missed and then get a chance to talk about. And there's some plans for next year, what we're gonna do. Like, we're always thinking about stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool. I'm sorry we missed it. Glad that we're back though. Hope you guys missed us. But anyway, so Tyler, what have you been watching lately? Like, have you been watching NXT, Lucha Underground? What have you been watching?
NXT, yeah, NXT not week to week. Sometimes, because I'm not saying it's a bad show week to week, because it really isn't. It's way better than Raw any day of the week. But a lot of this stuff is just not worth watching week to week. So yeah, I've been watching NXT. Obviously WWE, the main roster stuff. Not week to week, but I did watch last week and the week before that. So, that's really.
What did you think?
About what? Raw?
No, about NXT when you do watch it. What do you think?
Oh, okay. I think it's a good show. Like I said, it's an easy watch. It's 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy watch. So.
What do you like about it? Is it like just a guy, or is it like you're enjoying the roster? Like, what is the thing that you like about NXT right now?
I'm enjoying the roster. Because last year I was like, are they gonna be able to pick up these guys that they did the year before? And they're doing that. I mean, they have Shinsuke Nakamura, they have Austin Aries, they still have Finn Balor, Samoa Joe's the champ. I mean, there's good stuff going on in NXT.
Oddly enough, no Hideo Itami, because still out on injury. No, like, this guy was doing all right. You're like, okay, maybe he's gonna do some big stuff, and then he's just ghost.
I know. I don't know, because there's been rumors, oh yeah, he's coming back, and it always gets halted. So I'm not sure what happened.
I continue to say this. He's done. His career is over with. And from the research I've done, which hasn't been that much, mind you this, but from the little bit of research I have done, Itami's had a good bit of injury. It's not his first injury he's had in his career. No, he's had a few of them. So I think he might be in a Daniel Bryan situation where if it's not the last time he's going out there, it's getting close to it.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that. He had an injury, I believe, like in 2012, which he was out for a while. I mean, you're right. He was out on an injury for a couple times. So, I don't know.
Where was he working at the time in 2012?
Noah. That's just a Japan promotion. So, he was working around there.
Oh, so did he ever have any matches with Shinsuke in his run out there?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look for those. If you guys can find any of those Shinsuke Nakamura, Hideo Itami matches, if there ever is one, please link them down in the description. Please leave them down in the comment section, excuse me. Just put them somewhere. Or tweet them at me or Tyler, and just let us know. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, cause I don't think so. People are saying it's a dream match, and the people that are saying this has followed both of their careers. So I'm gonna have to say no on that one. So
You
I
never
don't know.
know. A lot of people didn't think Kevin Owens AJ Styles happened, although there is a match. It's like in a high school. It's in like some high school cafeteria or whatever, or the YMCA or whatever, and you just see all these chairs, and it's like so ghetto. It's like what TNA, what I envision TNA looks like compared to WWE. So but it was a good match,
Yeah,
and I don't know.
this
Did
is
you
that
see that
was
match?
before. I did not like see the whole thing, but I just yeah, I didn't really see the whole thing though.
Was it better than the one that was on Raw from what you've seen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Could you definitely have a slower Kevin Owens, a different Kevin Owens than what we're used to,
Hmm.
at least now, because Kevin Owens now is a
He's
little
in better
slower.
shape.
Oh,
He's
better
in better
shape, but
now.
he's
He
very
is.
limited to what he
Yeah.
can do now. Because yeah, better shape, but he's WWE, as everybody knows, or if you don't know, if you know, now you know. Uh, they do kind of take your style down a little bit.
Yeah, which is expected, you know. So I wasn't mad about that when I saw that. It was like, well, that's usually what you expect. They limit down your ring style. You're 100% right.
Oh yeah,
So,
but like I mean, in terms of just like, in my opinion, I don't know if I have to go back and rewatch that match, but Owens then and what he was doing, if I can remember correctly, he was more physical in that match than he was on the one on Raw.
oh yeah, 100%.
It just wasn't the same. But I think that just could be the beauty of the beast of how just WWE operates and how they go about their things and how they treat their wrestlers. It's not like it's a bad thing. It protects their wrestlers considering the crazy schedules. A lot of people be out. People complain about injury mania. If people talk about that so much, and that's the thing everybody jokes about. Imagine what it would be like if you had them like being the Young Bucks and shit, and having Kevin Owens
Oh
not be
yeah.
limited.
Oh, that's what they used to do back in the day. They used to let you do whatever you wanted. But a lot of people got injured, so that was the problem.
I think also the schedule can
Yeah.
now even hurt it more because like if you listen to Solid Monster, I think said this. Shout out to that podcast over there. Solid Monster has a really dope podcast. Solid Monster said a while back he was like, well, maybe the guys back then were tougher. Maybe they just could take better bumps or whatever or harder bumps. I don't know, but maybe that is the case.
Mm,
I don't know, maybe, and also it could be the schedule now also as well that can even take a guy down even further.
oh
But
yeah.
um, but you already know, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't already know, this is the iHeart Wrestling podcast. This is Gamer Central's only wrestling podcast. It's fun to come and listen, but subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Tyler, are you ready for the
Yeah.
wrestling report?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I'm ready. So
Tyler,
let's
how
do
many items
this.
are on the list?
There's 4 items on the list.
Awesome. All right. What is item number one, Tyler?
All right. So Cody Rhodes is actually going to be competing in a Battle of Los Angeles tournament, which is going.
Bola.
Yep. I'm taking this from pwtorch.com. So, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla announced Monday night the dates and first set of entrants for the annual Battle of Los Angeles tournament. The dates are September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Rosita, California. The first entrant is Cody Rhodes, confirming his inclusion in the annual tournament. PWG also announced a lot of these names. I'm not gonna list off everybody, so they list off guys like Adam Cole and John Morrison and stuff. Sammy Callahan
Did they
and
call him John Morrison or Johnny Mundo?
oh, they call him John Hennigan. Hennigan, so his real name. So yeah.
Those are
Trevor.
just the standout guys.
Yeah, Trevor Lee. Dalton Castle. I was so mad when when he's in this. I don't like Dalton Castle at all.
I haven't seen much of his stuff.
He's not like horrible in the ring or nothing, but his gimmick fucking sucks.
What is his gimmick?
He has these boys by him, like these how should I say it? You just look it up. I don't know how to explain it. Just look the guy up on YouTube. You can see what the guy is all about.
All right.
This guy's a joke, but anyway, so those are the standout guys right there for the Battle of Los Angeles tournament.
Is there any Lucha Underground guy besides Johnny Mundo?
I think they might be announcing more names as we speak. So I don't know, but not right now.
Now this Dalton Castle guy, I had no idea he competed in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I'm watching the video right here. It looks relatively new. He reminds me of some shit out of that movie of with Will Ferrell, and I think they're at a roller rink or something like that. I
Hmm.
don't know. I will have to look it up. But as soon as I know, he's wearing like spandex or whatever. That's what Dalton Castle's
Yep.
wearing. Okay, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like something very Will Ferrell esque. But what's item number 2 on the list?
Oh, okay. So
Wait
we're
a minute.
kind of
Wait,
go
what
ahead.
did we were gonna talk about Cody Rhodes? We didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
speak about that.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
What was So Cody Rhodes, he spoke about wanting to be in that when he left, and he left at the end of May or was it early June?
Ooh, early June, I believe.
Okay, so I remember Cody was speaking about that. He's like, okay, there are things I want to do. I want to wrestle this guy. I want to wrestle that guy. I don't remember the exact name, but he's like essentially saying his aspirations for what he wants to do in his career before he says, I'm going to quit. He's like, I'm not done with wrestling. I'm just done with the career. I'm not fulfilled anymore because this guy is great. Anything you put in front of Cody Rhodes, he will go out there and kill it 3 times over. And that's just how it goes. And now Cody Rhodes even said, I want to do Bola. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, okay, I don't think he's doing Bola this year. But now he's in it. So it kind of came as a little bit of a surprise, but not as a surprise that he's not as surprised that he'd be willing to do it, more as surprised that they wanted him in it this year. But I guess it's a big draw because it's like it's so fresh off the wound of him leaving.
Oh, that's why he was the first entrant. That's why I announced him as the first entrant. So because people were talking when Raw was going on, people were talking about that. Not Raw. People were talking about Cody Rhodes being in the tournament. People were surprised. So at
Was
least it
Jay
got people
Lethal in it
talking.
last year?
I don't think so.
Who won last year? Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's gonna be in it. He's in the cruiserweight classic, so I don't
No,
know.
he's the champion.
Oh,
And he beat Roger Strong at All Star Weekend.
okay. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, what's item number 2 on the list?
All right. Brock Lesnar announced the announcement of Brock Lesnar returning at UFC 200. This was actually big news when it first came out.
What do you think
Uh,
about that?
I was actually kind of surprised because I was like, wow, because when I went on Twitter, people were talking about that. And I was like, this seems out of the blue. Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar being at UFC 200, yeah, it felt out of the blue. And then when it fully got confirmed, I'm like, okay, Brock is back. And I will be probably watching that fight because I'm a supporter of Brock Lesnar. But still, I was I was actually awfully surprised.
You think I think that was kind of like the general consensus from a lot of fans, but a lot of people are saying, okay, well, if Brock's doing this, how many more fights will he have, and this and that. But it's like, okay, somebody pitched, what if Brock were to fight at UFC 201, and then the next night hop on a plane, fly out, and then fight at SummerSlam? And I was like, whoa, that'd be crazy. But I don't know if they would
Yeah,
allow him to do another fight and then
yeah.
allow him to fight and then have him do a SummerSlam match. That'd be crazy. They probably would be like, okay, Brock, you're crazy, you can do it. But I don't know that it's just the possibilities are almost endless at that point. Like I know Lesnar. I don't know the necessarily the rights that they have, but I know Lesnar been in the last 2 UFC video games,
Hmm.
maybe 3 UFC video games, last 3 in a row or so. So he's kind of I feel like there might be some or something already have been worked out just for Lesnar and the WWE and the UFC. I don't know, but I don't really know what they're doing. A lot of people are saying, well, "What if this guy were to do it? What if that guy?" I don't know if it's like that. I'm pretty sure it's just for Lesnar. It's just
Yeah.
this guy. He's a draw for both companies, not just the one.
He Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that he's a draw for both.
All right, he actually did an interview with Paul Heyman on it, Paul Heyman's channel, Heyman Hustle, and he's saying why he wants to fight because he said he wants to. He said that the way that he went out, he didn't want to go out that way. Yeah, I mean, his last fight was what, December of 2011. So he was doing an interview and he's saying that he didn't like the way that he went out, and he says he's gonna fight in the UFC because he just says he wants to. That's what he kept saying. He wants to. He wants to. So I guess Brock wants to do it.
which I
obviously.
respect. If you want to do it, go and do it. But hopefully that doesn't put Brock in his grave because honestly,
That's the problem. What if he loses? If they build him up like this monster, what if he loses?
I don't even know about that necessarily. I don't give a fuck about what that does to his character. I don't give a fuck what it does to his popularity. I don't know about that shit. But I mean necessarily what it's going to do to his body. Brock Lesnar has some liver issues. So push come to shove. That's why he had to retire.
Yeah.
That's why he had to come back. So it's like I don't think that shit just goes away. So if I'm not a doctor, but unless there's some shit, some new medicine I'm not aware of, I'm pretty sure whatever reason he had to leave after he got that ass whooped. Although if Brock Lesnar, if you listen to the podcast, man, I am so sorry. We already know I'm not whooping that ass. But just saying, I doubt whatever his issues are gone. So if he wants to continuously fight, I just want to do it. I just want to do it. Say if he has 2 fights this year, okay, say one upcoming here in a couple of weeks, and then he has another one, say January or maybe November, okay.
Okay.
Those issues aren't gone. So what if he fucks himself up and he might end up having to retire completely from everything, all contact sports? That includes wrestling. That's my theory.
No, but I'm actually still concerned about what can it do to his character because granted, I'm not like how should I say it? I'm not scared for Brock. Then again, I was just thinking about this. I'm like, yeah, what if he loses? If they build this guy as a monster and he loses, then yeah, I mean, what's that
Then
gonna
he'd be
do to
just like
him?
Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, just like them. Doesn't matter. Conor McGregor is on the cover of EA UFC too, and so is Ronda Rousey, both of which got knocked out. So he'd be just like them.
Yeah, right. But then again, people are like, well, you could beat up. This is gonna be people's, conception. Well, you could beat all these wrestlers, but then again, you can't do the real thing. When you do the real thing, you lose.
He was world
So,
champion, so people can't say that.
yeah, people will though.
Like it's not like he's a new guy coming in. He was world champ.
Hmm.
Like he was a heavyweight champ for a few months. Like so, it was a while before he got beat. So in reality, it's not that way, and people already know that. A lot of people might have a problem with Punk and say that, but Lesnar is a different case because he actually became champion.
Right.
And being concerned about Lesnar's character, I don't give a fuck about his character or whatever the hell, because I know he'll be all right no matter what. I'm more concerned about his health. Like, that shit doesn't matter if you're dead. Like, your character doesn't matter if the motherfucker dies.
Right.
So that's really the most important thing in my mind, that he just stays healthy and can stay good and be all right for his family and continue to do what he loves to do, which is just fuck people up and just be a beast altogether and keep putting that money in Paul Heyman's pockets.
Oh yeah, he's the next big thing. Actually, you know what? Not anymore. He ended up being the big thing. So, he conquered a totally different field than UFC. He conquered a field in WWE and UFC. So he's both world champions in both places. So, credit to Brock Lesnar.
Not many guys can say that. I'm not talking no bullshit. Ken Shamrock, never liked him.
Man,
I just was never about it. I never liked that Ken Shamrock. I just
no, I mean, yeah, I thought he was fine. No, I thought he was. I don't know. I thought he was kind of underrated. To be honest with you,
thought he was overrated.
Really, I didn't think he was great either. Though.
I'll play against him in like February 13, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, get this guy off my screen. I hate him. Like everything from his attire to his moves, everything.
It worked at the time and added to her because I'm like, oh god, this guy's legit MMA. Oh yeah, I mean, it worked at the time. So I have to admit it did.
Oh, I'm not talking about what it was then. I mean, I just hate this dude now.
I see, yeah.
So I'm not going to discredit what he did in the past. I just thought he was an overrated guy. You talk about Mr. Anderson, like Lord knows you talk about Mr. Anderson, how you don't like him and how you say he's overrated. Ken Shamrock is he is the definition of being overrated.
Nah, Anderson's more overrated than him.
Ken Shamrock, people said he was so good when he was not good.
People said that about Kennedy or Anderson.
Mr. Anderson at least has a few good matches under his belt.
Like what? I could name like one match. Like what?
I don't know his matches off the top of my head. That's not one of my favorite wrestlers. But I know he has more good matches under his belt than Ken Shamrock.
No, you're probably right about that.
And he's better on the mic. He's an actual wrestler. He went to school to be a wrestler instead of Ken Shamrock. I'm gonna jump over and just do wrestling.
Oh no, I do agree with that.
So more respect to Mr. Anderson,
And Ken
wholeheartedly.
Shamrock's promos are brutal.
Like
So
Mr. Anderson at least could get past a promo. Yes, you can say whatever you want. Oh, ripped off Stone Cold. You can say whatever you
no,
guys
he's
want.
annoying. He's annoying.
Then
Like the
again,
guy.
people love 10, 10, 10. Ty Dillinger. People love Zack Ryder. People love Santino Marella. That shit was
Uh,
all annoying, but people love that.
right, but Blue said he was great on the mic, but then again, acting like a jackass and actually going out there and executing a good promo are two separate things.
Acting like a
And
jackass is his character though, so that could be a good promo if you're playing the character
you
correctly.
just acting like an annoying asshole. So
But that was the character.
all right, but if you're just saying random shit and then being annoying, is that a good promo?
It was good if it's funny and entertaining. That's what makes a good promo
It wasn't entertaining.
to you.
To a lot of people, it wasn't entertaining.
All right, I'm a fan of Mr. Anderson. Personally, Mr. Kennedy. I remember doing that as a kid, man. So lit. I used to want that microphone he had. Brought it over to TNA. Did it even better. Hey,
Go ahead.
Mr. Anderson, come on, Ty. I don't know what you're on to make you not want to be about Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kennedy, whatever you guys want to call him.
You're right. That probably is just me, but I think the guy is not that good in the ring. I think the guy fucking. I hate the guy. I don't hate the person. Let's put it as that. But I really can't stand him, to be honest with you. Hey, at least seeing in TNA anymore. Even though I don't even watch TNA, but still,
So
whatever.
you're upset that he's not. You're happy that he's not even in a product you don't watch.
Yep.
You're sipping that haterade. I hope you know that. You're sipping that
I
haterade.
yeah, I know I do that. So.
You know who you remind me of right now?
Who?
You remind me of Oscar the Grouch. That motherfucker from Sesame Street.
Oh, that guy. Oh.
Yeah, he lives in a trash can. He eats a bunch of food.
I was about to say who?
Comparisons to Tyler Overstreet? I think so. What is item number 3 on the list?
Oh, okay. Speaking of UFC, and you talked about CM Punk before, it's finally been announced September 10th, at UFC 203. CM Punk will be facing Mikey Gale or Gale or whatever the fuck his name is. So it's been officially announced. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think this shit is hilarious. Motherfucker has been signed to the UFC for 2 years. First fight it will be pretty much 2 years to the date by the time he has his first fight. Pretty much. You might as well just say 2 years. It will be September. He signed with the UFC, I think, in like December
Yeah.
of 2014. So
Yeah.
you might as well just say 2 years by the time he has his first fight. Okay, whatever. That's all right. I can excuse that. And I just need to say this, okay? Now that we're talking about CM Punk, we're not talking about the UFC, we're talking about all this stuff, and it's a wrestling podcast. I want to say this, okay? Just because I can, all right? Because it's our podcast, and we can say whatever the fuck we want. So let's just say, essentially, to everybody that thinks that CM Punk's coming back at Money in the Bank, he should have came back at Money in the Bank. CM Punk,
Oh my
CM
God.
Punk's coming back in 2017. Oh, Punk at the Rumble, all these different stuff. Okay, Punk is signed to a multi-fight deal. I could look it up right now how many fights he has to do before his contract is over, but I'm pretty sure it's like 3. And he hasn't even had 1 in 2 years. How fast do you think he's gonna be done with this contract? Like honestly.
Oh, these freaking people, man. I mean, they were saying that at Payback because Payback was in Chicago. It's like, oh my God, CM Punk is coming back. It's like people need to open up your minds a little bit. He's not. You just said it. You hit it on the nail. He's in a multi-fight deal. So, I mean, come on.
I'm looking this up right now, and I'm trying to see what his how many fights he is exactly booked for. 'Cause I want to say
I think is it in 3?
I thought it'd be a little bit more. I thought it might be 5,
Mm.
but that's the thing. A lot of people will instantly correct you for that. It's a multi-fight deal. How many fights? Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, continue as I look this up.
All right.
Yeah,
No, there's
talk.
nothing really else with the CM Punk thing. I need to get some stuff from my mind about CM Punk, but
How much do you know about Mikey Yao?
nothing.
How much do you know about the UFC?
And not really that much, to be honest with you.
Oh, you're in for a treat then. You're planning on watching UFC 200, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
How much does that cost?
I don't know.
6 fights.
So, oh, damn. Okay.
All right. If you guys want to know where I got that from, I got it from whatculture.com. You can look it up. CM Punk contract details. It would be on whatculture.com. So 6 fights according to What Culture. So with that being said, 6 fights. He hadn't even had one. Even let's just say he finishes up. Okay, most people might have 3 fights a year. Okay, let's say he has 3 fights next year. He's still. The funniest thing is he's still gonna have 2 fights left. I doubt. He's doing that, man. I doubt he's having 3 fights next year. I doubt he's having another fight this year. After September, he's probably just gonna train and get another fight in maybe February, March. Like Punk's just gonna coast. He wants to have a good time. And do I think he'll ever wrestle again? Sure,
They all
whatever.
come back.
But will he wrestle for Vince? I'm not sure.
He probably.
It's very possible, but I think he'll wrestle for Vince? I'm not sure. I think Vince will be dead by the time Punk comes back.
Probably. I don't know.
That's my prediction. I think he's gonna wait for Vince to die. To be honest.
He doesn't like Triple H either.
Yeah, but didn't he have more of a problem with? Well, probably.
Yeah, he had more problem with Triple H. They always had beef. Triple H never liked him, and he knows that. So
I wonder where that's gonna go. Hopefully we can finally put a bow on that story one day, and hopefully the best goes for CM Punk. And I wish him nothing but the best. He seems like he's very happy. Him and his wife both. Like AJ Lee, I don't know if you heard about this. AJ Lee finished writing her book. She has a book coming out.
Bailey was talking about that, how she was gonna get it. So
yes, I'm going to buy a copy of that and read it. It should be good. I'm actually really excited for it. I don't know if she told the title on Twitter, but if you guys are trying to talk about like where do I get this information, it's all on Twitter. It was kind of cool though. I'm very interested to find out like what's the book about? Is it about her time in WWE? Is it about her come up? What is it really about? Is it about life now? Who knows? But I'm definitely going to pick it up and read it and just give it a listen, how it's going to be, and just kind of dive into it. And I know she's happy. Punk seems like he's very happy with what he's doing, so I don't see a reason for him to come back. Money's not an issue, and he says that throughout the Cole Cabana podcast. He's like, money's not a thing. Like, money doesn't matter. Money is going to be a recurring trend throughout his life. But Punk is set for life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He is set. So he doesn't need to worry about the money. Like a lot of us, we might need to worry about the money. Punk doesn't need that. He has no worry in the world. Like he could start businesses up and make money, and he doesn't have to work a day in his life. He does it because he wants to have fun. The UFC is fun to him. So for him to come back to wrestling, if he doesn't want to wrestle, don't wrestle. If you're a kid, most likely if I was Punk, and knowing from the interviews I've heard of Punk, I don't know the man, but I know the interviews. I know what he wants us to know about him. And I think if him and AJ have a kid, I don't think he wants that kid to be in the business.
Probably not.
So, or if they're in the business, don't work for Vince. I think of that. I don't know. But Punk, and I'm excited to watch the fight in September. Hope all goes well for him. But we were talking about essentially Brock Lesnar's character and building him up to look kind of strong. I don't think Punk was built up to look strong going into this fight. I think he just built up to be this iconic figure from Vince, from the WWE, from that wrestling. Now coming over to the UFC. So I think that's going to be a lot riding on it. But they gave Mikey Gao, so he should be all right.
You think he's going to win this one?
Yeah, he should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, because people are saying when he first got signed, or when he first signed with the UFC, people were like, "Oh yeah, this fucking WWE dude. Oh yeah, this guy's gonna get squashed or whatever." I mean, I'll give him a shot. Obviously, CM Punk is actually my favorite wrestler of all time. That's surprising probably to most of you people, but he is. So I'm obviously gonna support him while he's doing this. So UFC 203, I'll probably be watching that as well as the Brock fight.
Tyler, did you see the just to talk about the switch gears for a second.
Yeah.
Did you see the 2K17 cover reveal trailer the other day?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was good. I liked it. So
Hey, were you surprised to see Brock on the cover?
Yeah, actually, I thought it was gonna be Roman.
See, there was that leaked Roman cover, and I was like, okay, that's definitely Roman then in that case. Do you think I think this was probably something they had planned from the beginning, but there's a piece of me that's like, oh, there might have been something else planned for Roman, maybe like a special edition or something.
Which I mean, that's the thing. Now I kind of disagree with Brock. As much of a big Brock fan as I am, last year was Stone Cold, and now you have Brock. Brock is a part of the roster. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a full time asset on the roster. Why not give it to one of your full time current guys? You know what I mean?
We'll have a
So
question for you.
yeah.
Somebody said on Twitter, and our friend Sammy, a good friend of the show, he says to me, he's like, okay, well, Tony Pizza Guy apparently says in one of his videos, as well as Sammy said this. Well, you might as well just wrap it up and just say right now, Kurt Angle's in this new 2K17 video game. I
What?
was like, well, how do you figure that? And essentially, from what Sammy's saying, and I get from what Tony Pizza Guy is saying, which all due respect to him, he's a legend in this industry, so a lot of respect to him. But he probably knows more about this than I do. But I could be mistaken. I really could be. But let me just say this: I highly doubt Kurt Angle is in 2K17, and I could be wrong because people are like, okay, if Brock Lesnar's on the cover, there probably is a Brock Lesnar story mode in it.
Oh yeah, Kurt Angle has a huge part in that.
Yeah, and people are like, okay, you can't tell Lesnar's story without Kurt Angle. I'm like, but and then you had the 30 years of WrestleMania, and you told it without Chris Benoit and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. Oh wait, that was in WrestleMania,
What was that at?
SummerSlam,
SummerSlam.
2004.
Why do I get SummerSlam and Mania confused like that? I don't know why I do that, but okay. What? Even then, my point of that whole thing was they can erase people out of history.
That's
And
that's
that's
gonna be
just how it goes.
go ahead.
Hogan, same deal. You can see that right now with Hogan.
Mhm.
They're trying to erase Hogan out of history. They did it with Benoit a lot of times. They don't want to give you your credit. So not saying they want to erase Kurt Angle out of history, but doesn't mean they're gonna put him in the video game. And people are like, oh, Kurt Angle said he's coming back to the company. Okay. A lot of people say a lot of things. And then WWE, of course, is gonna have to deny it, because even if they are signed him or whatever, they're not gonna tell us that he's signed.
Yeah,
Of course.
Meltzer actually reached out to WWE and they said they denied the whole story.
Oh yeah, but
So
even if it was true, they're not gonna tell us. It's like
oh
that
yeah,
one situation, like in a horror movie, where they're like, "Well, you could run, but you can't hide." Even if you could hide, they wouldn't tell you. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
that's not information they want to tell, and that's just how it goes. And that's I don't trust Kurt Angle. Let's just be honest. He's playing the game. Look at James Storm. James Storm played the game very well. Oh, I'm gonna show up in NXT, get a better deal. Not saying that's what Angle's doing. I'm just saying I don't trust it until I see it. The dirt sheets and all that stuff can be wrong, and it has been wrong before, and it's also been right before. But when it comes to wrestling, just sit back and relax. A lot of people need to shut the hell up and just kind of enjoy it. And people are like, oh, Angle's definitely coming back. Oh, this and that. I'm like, no. Until I see some hardcore
yeah.
facts, until he steps foot in an arena and you see him taking some pictures, that's when he's back.
Oh yeah, people have been saying that for years since when this contract ended with TNA in 2014. People were like, "Oh, he's coming back the next year. Oh, he's coming back this year. Oh, he's coming back." At this point, I'm just gonna wait for it to happen because there's been so many reports of, "Oh yes, Carnicle coming back. Is Carnicle coming back?" At this point, it's kind of like, you have to wait for it. Like you said, you have to wait for it. You have to see it to make us believe it. So.
What is your opinion on him being in the game?
You ask me, do I think he should be or?
Do you think he should be? You think he will be?
Um, that's the thing. If you want to tell the correct Brock Lesnar story, you kind of have to have him in the game. But do I think he will be? No. Like I said, if you want to tell the correct Brock Lesnar story, because Kurt Angle was a huge part of that. You know, Brock beat him in the main event of WrestleMania 19, that epic 1 hour Iron Man match. In 2003, they had an epic feud. So, you know, Kurt Angle has a huge part of the Brock Lesnar story.
And Kurt Angle, there's what do you think about this? Okay,
Okay.
what if Kurt Angle does come back? Okay, so for all you people that want me to just at least think about the idea of him coming back, fine. How about this? I don't want to. Kurt Angle says he's not gonna wrestle full time. He says that, so he's
Yo,
not wrestling full time.
Mm-hmm.
That will put this man in his grave. Realize that. So all you guys out there on the internet that believe Kurt Angle is going to wrestle full time, get that idea out of your head right now.
No,
Angle himself knows that will put him in his grave. Numerous neck
his
injuries.
body is beating the shit. So his body's beating the shit.
You know more than I do that Angle is just not in condition to wrestle full time schedules.
Oh yeah. Oh
Especially
yeah.
a WWE schedule. Travel here, do this, do that. Oh yeah, it will murder him. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean that literally, not like, oh, he's out of shape, okay, he's tired. No, I mean, that will put him in his grave and he will be done. That's not a slight towards Kurt Angle. He said it himself.
No, he knows it himself. He even said, like, look, I'm not coming back to wrestle a full time schedule. It will kill him. It will legit. You're right. It will legit kill him.
It will,
So
and that's the thing. So just to entertain your idea really quickly, guys, I'm not talking about a full time schedule. I'm talking about a part time schedule where Angle has every year he's almost pulling an Undertaker. Where every year he has about not Undertaker from the last few years, Undertaker from last year. Where he comes back, he has a handful of good matches. Then he goes away. Next year you have him have another year of a few good matches again.
that'll be fine.
So
That'll be
maybe
fine.
I think I wouldn't make him have 6. I'd make him have like 4 or 5 every year.
Yeah.
Because 6 is kind of pushing it, but I feel like you could do it. That'd be half the year. But I do 5. That'd be a right number. And here's an idea. Okay, why not have Kurt Angle come and general manage SmackDown? Because he already did it once, like 10 years ago, 9 years ago, whatever it was. He did it for Impact. So it's like, why not just have him do that? People are like, oh, Shane and Stephanie and all that stuff. But I'm like, I don't know necessarily if Shane and Stephanie is the way to go.
I wouldn't do that.
And just see
That
what we have
seems
with William
too-
Regal is cool.
That would be too predictable, Shane and Stephanie. I would not go with that. Go.
I think Angle would be a cool way to go about it. Because, like, all these heel authority figures of, like, I want to hold down my roster, although that can make me lose money. It's just stupid. I think it's cool to have those at certain points, but I think that we've had them so much, we need to take a few years, maybe like a year break from it. We've been away from it for a few months, so just maybe like another 6-7 months, and just take a break from it, and then maybe come back with it. Because like, look at NXT. William Regal is so refreshing to have the way he's running that show, although he's not really running it, but just having the way he's not holding his roster down. He's a very fair general manager. I think Angle could be the same way, running SmackDown and doing his thing, and I think that could be a cool way to do it. And I don't know, you'd have to have somebody of equal value for Raw. I don't know who you would get necessarily.
Oh, okay. I actually have a cool idea.
All right.
Kurt Angle for SmackDown. How about Daniel Bryan for Raw?
I thought about that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So
like Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle. That would be awesome. Actually, like now really thinking about it, yeah, that'd be awesome. And cause it'd be cool to get Daniel Bryan back on television. People want to see Bryan, and that'd be a great way to get him on TV. Because people love Bryan, and Angle still has a big name in this industry. He's a superstar, so is Bryan. So I think that'd be great. And then later on, you can have Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H come back. And I don't know exactly how that will work, but I think how they could build up to it is essentially have a Shane and Triple H something. I don't know, maybe a storyline. And what was really cool with the Mick Foley and Shane McMahon interview, he asked about Triple H, and he said something about Stephanie. He's like, so what do you think about Stephanie? He's like, oh, me and my sister, we get along just fine. He's like, well, what do you think about Triple H? He's like, oh, well, he makes my sister happy. And I was like, oh, okay.
No, there's rumored that there's gonna be Shane and Triple H at SummerSlam. I'm not sure how true that is, but there might have a match at SummerSlam. So I don't know.
I guess that's cool. I rather have I rather have something. I wish it would have been Triple H goes away, like he's been away, and Shane starts showing up on NXT backstage segments. Like, he showed up one night. He actually comes out to the ring. He's like, I'm here to what? I heard there's such a great buzz around NXT. My kids were at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and now I'm here at NXT just to enjoy the night. And he's like, give it up for General Manager William Regal. Been doing a great job. Yada, yada, yada. Goes backstage. All right. You see him in a backstage segment later in the show. He's talking to some guys backstage. Maybe Balor, maybe Joe, maybe Aries, whoever. Definitely, it should be Balor, actually. Talk to Balor. He's like, hey, man, so yada, yada, yada. People are like, what is he talking about? Kind of like how TNA used to do it, like where you'd be like, what the hell are they talking about backstage? And it looked like the camera guy's hiding behind stuff, which I love how TNA used to do their backstage stuff, preferred over WWE. Because WWE put the camera right in somebody's face, and they act like, oh, I don't see the camera.
Yeah, act like it's not there, yeah.
But especially like in the locker room stuff, like they'll be stretching or whatever before a match, and they'll act like they don't see the camera,
Hmm.
or like they'll be like arguing with somebody, be like, oh, the camera ain't there. TNA, the way they would do it, they would hide behind something and have the camera guy like wobble the camera, be like, this is actually kind of like somebody's filming this.
Yeah, it feels legit.
And I was like, that's one thing I could say TNA always was really kept unique about them. I really like that. And they even, I think they still did it up to like, they probably still do it. I'm not sure, but I know they were doing it last time I saw it. And that's what they could do. Shane's talking to Balor, and essentially you have Balor and a bunch of NXT guys turn on Triple H and kind of go with Shane, because everybody knows. For everybody that doesn't know, NXT is Triple H's baby. And if you break kayfabe, NXT is Triple H's baby, and you could bring that into real life storyline and be like, oh, Shane is taking away Balor. He's kind of brought him over, and he's kind of made them not against Triple H, but Triple H is kind of like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like like a father figure to you. What are you doing? And then it could kind of be a storyline telling like that. I wish it would have went that way, like kind of that would have been a good way to raid the NXT roster to bring them up, rather than a draft. I think that would have been better. But Shane Triple H at SummerSlam is cool, but I don't really want to see that match.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I don't want to see Triple H wrestle anymore. There's not really anybody I want to see him wrestle. Maybe Balor or Rollins, because just those guys are two individuals that are on the come up, where you look at them and you're like, okay, Balor just for the sentimental reason of Triple H is like a father to him. He's taught him a lot about the business and being here, and Rollins just because like the storyline is like laid out already.
I think it'll be an interesting feud though with Shane and Triple H. I think it'll be interesting, to be honest with you. I
think the promo will be better than the match. And considering you're a match mark, I'm surprised that you're
no. I was saying the build up will probably be good. I mean, would the match be great? Probably not. I mean,
oh yeah, but you're a match mark. Where a lot of times you're like, I believe you told me one time where you're like, okay, the storylines are good, but if the storyline is so good and all the build up's good, and it built up to crap or only a decent match, and the build up was great, then how do you look at the match?
Oh yeah. I mean, remember Triple H and Randy Orton from 2009? That whole feud was great, but that match at WrestleMania was shit. It was dull. It's probably because they had to follow Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, but still. The match was shit. So, but I'm just saying Shane and Triple H. I think that I'm gonna have to say that the feud will probably be great. I'm talking about the actual build up would be great. I'm not sure about the match though. That's the thing. I'm not sure about the match. I don't think the match will be bad, but I don't think the match will be great either.
You think Stephanie would get involved?
Probably.
What about Vince?
I don't. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because you have Vince's own son, and you also have Triple H, which Vince looks at Triple H as a second son. So, I think he'll get involved somehow.
All right. Item 4 on the list, Tyler. What is it?
Oh yeah, AJ Styles on Stone Cold's podcast. If you guys didn't see this, was this last week? Yeah, last week, I believe. Oh, actually, let me get your thoughts. What do you think about the podcast?
Oh, you can go ahead.
okay.
I'm wide curious my thoughts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was actually really good. I thought it was actually different than other podcasts that Stone Cold did in the past on the network. They talked about TNA, which surprised some people on Twitter. He mentioned that the fact that when they're growing and stuff, them bringing in Kurt Angle and Christian and people like that. He also talked about Christopher Daniels and how pretty much that's his older brother to him. What else? I'm trying to cue up my thoughts here. Yeah, he said when he first went into TNA, he didn't look at it like it was like it was a big deal. He just looked at it as a indie promotion, like another indie promotion that was on Wednesdays. So I mean, he talked about his family or whatever, which I'm not saying I didn't care about, but it didn't really interest me. He talked about
interesting enough about the family. He was like, "Oh, yeah. My kids are really good at sports," and then you said how dad was like, "Oh yeah, you were really good, but very small, but also very confident." And he said the same thing about his son. I was like, well, his son might end up going into the business one day. Maybe not. I think it might be a Rock situation where he's like, I don't necessarily want it, but it might happen inevitably.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could definitely be one of the situations with his son. I think his son sounds like he's very capable to be like his dad. Maybe not in style, but I mean just as good.
Right.
Because if he's following the pattern, at least that's just what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
But what else did he speak about? Didn't they talk about Dixie being late on pay or something like that?
Yeah, he said that the reason why he left was he was taking a pay cut and he thought he deserved more, which I knew about. He talked about that in the past, that he thinks he deserves more money.
That is so sad. On the WWE network, Dixie Carter finally gets her breakthrough where TNA's on the network, her name's on the network, and the first thing people know about is you don't pay your employees, you don't pay your wrestlers, you don't pay your production staff, you don't even have catering. Come on, Dixie.
All right. Oh yeah.
Like that's gotta hurt. Like you have to look at it where you're like, oh my gosh, like how do you feel? Like I would feel like some dog crap if I was her, and but fuck it, she comes from a long line of rich people, so what I think would probably hurt me probably is like phase right off her shoulder.
Mm.
So and I think AJ's very right. You gotta. He's a big person. He said in the podcast that you got to know your worth, and you should be paid what you're worth. And I think that's if you don't know what you're worth, people are gonna pay you whatever the fuck they want. So know what you're worth, and just don't be cocky about it. There's a difference between being confident and cocky, which a lot of people get those things confused. AJ, I don't think was coming off cocky. He was coming off confident in his ability, and he knew how good he was. And it's one thing to say that you're good when you're not good. Some people just want to say they're some of the best of all time when they're not. You're just not that. AJ knew he was one of the best, and that was the reality of the issue.
Right.
And he was just not getting paid that way. So if you're gonna be the best, you should be getting paid like the best.
Right.
And that's just not how they want to do. They wanted to cut his money in half, like he wasn't bringing in money. And I think that's where a lot of times I don't know who was making the decisions, but that's where a lot of times TNA was going wrong. And he even talked about like the power struggle on TNA, how like you didn't really know who to go to, but in WWE you know exactly who to go to. One man, that man's Vince. And if you can't find Vince, you got Hunter, you got Stephanie, you got whoever, you got Carano.
Right.
So it's you know who to go to, and that was another problem. If you don't know who your bosses are, then how do you get your assignments? How do you know how to fix stuff? These are a lot of issues that are simple business 101 that TNA should have learned from the get-go, especially considering Dixie's father had made so much money. So why would she buy a company that didn't even know business 101?
Right.
So if assuming TNA didn't know much business to begin with, I definitely don't know if that would have helped her. I just don't. I don't understand that, but Stone Cold really credited AJ a lot throughout the whole thing, saying how big of a fan he is of him, saying how much he loves his work, saying how he sees the future very bright for AJ, and he can't wait to see what's next for him.
I noticed this on the podcast. I'm not sure if you caught this, but it felt like in the beginning, I'm not sure if Stone Cold is making him feel uncomfortable, but AJ just seemed very uncomfortable. In the beginning, I saw that he just seemed very uncomfortable for some reason. I'm
How
not sure
far in it?
like in the beginning, like before they started talking about how he broke into the business. Like it just felt like he was just very uncomfortable.
Well, I
You
feel like
start,
he has a lot of reverence for this man. You forget he's Stone Cold Steve Austin, so that has to be a little intimidating. You as a fan of this industry, and now you finally made a name for yourself. You're in the big leagues, and now you get to sit down with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's interviewing you.
mm-hmm.
You have to, probably have a little bit of nerves going on.
Oh yeah.
You have to assume. So AJ probably just was a little nervous. Probably was just kind of feeling himself a little bit, but definitely was trying to. He's probably taken by all of it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just how life is and how things have changed for him and how he's able to provide for his family, and he's just happy. I think that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Sometimes you're kind of lost for words, and sometimes you really be so stuck in your head because you're like, how did I deserve all this? How am I in this great position? So I definitely think it could have been one of those things. I had to go back and look at that and maybe take a screenshot or something. But I don't know. But Tyler,
Yeah.
speaking of AJ Styles, he was a part of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view about 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, Tyler. Break down the match card for Money in the Bank.
Yeah. All right, the Fatal 4-Way tag, including what the New Day as the champions with the club, End Zone Cast, and the Vault Villains. Um, this was kind of weird match. I thought it was good, but there was a lot of clusters. Like Enzo and Cass at their finisher, and then when the ref was counting, the ref hit three. I'm assuming somebody was supposed to go in there and break up the count, but still. You also had when Big E had Carl Anderson when he's about to go with when he's about to go for the big ending. Luke Gallows just looked there and just watched him. Like when he's about to hit the move, I'm like, are you gonna break it up? Yeah, but other than that, I thought it was a fine match. I thought it was a fine opener. You have any thoughts on that?
I don't really remember the match too much, but from what I do remember, it was all right. It didn't really grip me or anything like that.
hmm Um, let's see. Okay, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. I thought this was fine. I didn't think this was bad at all. They worked their asses off. I have to admit, the crowd wasn't really too into it. Because this show drove home a point that the only three matches you should give a fuck about is the AJ Cena match, the Money in the Bank ladder match, and the Reigns and Rollins match. Yeah, I mean that they just drove home a point that those were the matches that you all should care about, and because of that, they didn't really care about anything else on the card.
Should have
So,
separated the matches at that point,
yep.
because if you don't have them separate, that can really kill the show. But people still watched it.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think it killed the momentum of the show because it didn't really get rolling until
Yeah, it
so
felt
late in it.
yeah, it just felt like they put all the filler out first. So,
And I think that's cool for certain occasions, just to get all the crap out the way, just so you can get to the good stuff, and then you nonstop with the good stuff. But I think at certain times you don't want that. But just, with certain occasions, it's tolerable. And I think here I tolerated it more because when we finally did get the good stuff, it was good enough to not be pissed about it.
because I didn't even really know half these matches on the card except the three big money matches. But yeah, Baron Corbin hit the end of days and pinned Dolph Ziggler like usual. Dolph Ziggler loses like usual. There we go.
So I could calm down, man. You got it.
Yeah, but you know, granted, I think Baron Corbin should have went over so they could end this awful feud. And this feud actually hasn't been that bad, but you know, just I don't care. I don't give a
Reminds me of
shit.
the Austin Aries Baron Corbin match a little bit.
Yeah, kinda. This the feud has went on too long because all Baron Corbin has faced was really Dolph Ziggler since he debuted. So, but yeah, the Divas tag, nothing really noteworthy here. What it was Dana Brooke and Charlotte versus Becky Lynch and Natalia. Yeah, nothing really noteworthy here. When are they gonna take that damn belt off of Charlotte?
I have no idea.
She's holding on to the belt way too long. I don't think she's bad, but there's better people in the division to have the belt right now, in my opinion. I mean, you have Sasha Banks, you have Becky Lynch. I mean, I wonder why aren't those people the champion? So, but anyway, yeah, nothing really noteworthy here. Charlotte hit the figure eight, or nah, it wasn't the figure eight. She hit her with the, she hit Natalia with the what's that move? The natural selection pinder. Natalia actually turned heel and she just started beating down Becky Lynch. So whatever with that. I really didn't care about that to be honest with you. Um, Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. This wasn't bad. At least Apollo Crews is finally on pay per view.
I didn't
Which
even watch this match. I was working on episode 12 or episode 11 of Universe Mode at the time.
what really bothered me was Sheamus hit his white noise off the top rope and Apollo Crews kicked out. This has made his move kind of look like shit, especially he hit it off the top rope. But whatever.
Oh,
Uh,
Apollo Crews is a black Superman, Tyler. What are you talking about, man?
I saw
Future
that.
world champ.
And this is drove home a point because Apollo Crews actually went over. This drove home a point that because Sheamus was champion like what 6 months ago, 6 7 months ago, and now he's losing to Apollo Crews. No offense to Apollo Crews at all, because he should have won this match, but this just it just shows you how far you could drop down the card. So anyway, all right, here's the match that. All right, now we're gonna get to the three big money matches here. AJ Styles versus John Cena. I actually thought this was really good to great. Actually, I thought this was pretty great. I still think they could do more though. which I think they will do more. But I still thought they could do more. Cena kind of looked rusty here, but I still think he did a good job. Here's my issue with the match though, and it's not the finish. It's Cena was talking. Like Cena has a reputation for this. He calls spots way too loud. I was watching this on my TV. I'm like, I could hear him clearly. Like he was calling spots like all over the place. Like, he was saying, "Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down." Like I hear him talking all this bunch of shit. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like he does this all the time. Like he calls spots like extremely loud that everybody could hear it. It was getting so bad that the camera actually had to cut away from him. So
Oh my god.
other than that,
But Cena's
I
not a
thought
bad wrestler though. I think for that
no,
one thing, I think he does a pretty good job.
no, I never said he was a bad wrestler. Actually, I'm actually more supportive to him than a lot of people. I do think the guy's good. The guy's improved. Like I said, the guy's still having great matches. So, but anyway, the finish included Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows coming out and hitting the Magic Killer on Cena so AJ could get the pin. I have to admit, at the time I was kind of disappointed because I should have saw this coming, to be honest with you.
I
But
did, baby.
yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, really? But I should have saw that coming. I mean, I didn't hate it. Then again, I wanted to see a clean win. That's just me. I wanted to see that at the time.
I knew
Because
it
because
wasn't
I knew
happening.
because I knew Cena is probably gonna beat him what at Battleground and at SummerSlam. That's probably what's gonna happen. So if that's gonna happen, I would at least wanted the AJ to win clean if that was gonna happen. But go ahead.
I just knew. I knew it. I was like, there's no way. There's no way there's gonna be some type of interference. I didn't know necessarily if it was gonna be the club or whatever. I knew somebody was gonna get involved and one party was gonna walk away with a win by interference. I just knew it. It had to happen that way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who was gonna interfere. I didn't know exactly what. I had some ideas. I didn't know for sure, but I was like, there had to be somebody coming in. But it was a good match. I didn't. I
No.
liked it a lot. It was. I don't know. Out of my matches this year, what is my favorite? It would be up there with Austin Aries. Not Austin Aries. Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. It'd be up there with that. It'd be up there. Those are my favorite matches. I recently saw AJ Styles versus Shinsuke at Wrestle Kingdom.
Awesome.
I
Awesome. That's
recently
probably
saw that.
that's probably my match of the year so far.
Those are my three for right now. Hopefully something else will take it down.
But yeah, I still think AJ and Cena still could do more though. But I think they will. Well, then that age, I took the win though. AJ beat Cena, so I took the win because I knew he's probably not going to get another win over Cena. So, but anyway, let's go with the Money in the Bank ladder match with Cesaro, Del Rio, Jericho, Owens, Ambrose, and Sami Zayn. Now, this is probably the most stacked Money in the Bank since probably the first one when they had Benoit, Jericho, Edge, Christian, Kane, and Shelton Benjamin. So, I mean, that's probably the most stacked one since the first one. Um, I thought this was. I actually really like this. I really like this, but I could not put this up there with the best Money in the Bank ladder matches of all time, like some people are doing. I couldn't put it up there with that. I thought it. I thought it
Why?
was. Huh?
Why is that?
I don't know. It just wasn't that. The
What do you think
best
it
one.
was? Do you think it was just like? Do you think it's because it's so new? What do you think it was? Is it the guys or like what would make
No,
you not
no,
want?
no. It just wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cases that it just wasn't. Because granted, I thought this was great. Yeah, I mean, especially like this shouldn't be any surprise because she had great guys in the match.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
But it's just one of those cases like it just wasn't that. Like the best one will always be the first one.
I understand. Okay. Well, this was a good match, I guess. Whatever. I didn't really pay attention to it. The fact that Dean Ambrose won was cool. So, and then as soon as he won, I was like, well, I don't think Dean Ambrose is the type of guy to walk around with this briefcase for a long period of time. I'm like, if at the longest, we might see him with Raw, and we might cash in at Raw. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If he doesn't cash in tonight, so I could have seen a promo in my head. I could see a promo with Ambrose in that briefcase. I just feel like he could have done something. But he cashes in later in the night after the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins match. So let's talk about that. Roman Reigns Seth Rollins. What did you think of that?
Oh, you're not gonna talk about that Rusev Titus filler match?
Let's forget about all that. It's filler, so let's not fill this hole in. Let's
All right.
pave
So
right over that hole.
okay, so Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins.
Actually, there is
That,
something notable about that match. Let's backtrack for 2 seconds. Okay, so there is something notable after the match. Freaking Titus O'Neil's fucking son was on camera, and his daughter, and his son was looking like a knockoff Jaden Smith, for Christ's sake. Oh my gosh, like who did this kid think he is out here? He had the Odell Beckham Jr. hairstyle. He has the glasses rocking, looking like some Jaden Smith shit. And I was like, okay, my man out here trying to finesse. But and then Rusev comes out there. I'm like, did he know about this, or is it just something that's happening? Because I don't think he knew about it. Because if he did, his acting is terrible. It's just atrocious. So let's just say he didn't know about it. Because if it was, Lord Jesus Christ, help me. He is not going to win himself any awards for acting. The Academy is gonna be like, get this guy out of here. Like, you talk about 12 years a slave. You think this man was 12 years a slave the way his acting was. Never seen a movie in his life. For Christ's sake. That's assuming that's assuming that he knew Rusev was going to walk over to him. So let's assume he didn't.
you tried to act tough, too.
Oh, yeah. He was like, don't touch me. I was like, what the? I was like, dude, you realize it's all fake. This is all for show. I was like,
yeah, assuming like, the guy's like 12 years old or a little older, so I assume he probably knows.
I'm like, I think he's like 16, 17, it looked like.
Oh, yeah, they should know.
I'm like, you realize it's all for show. I'm like, Rusev really is not a bad guy.
I mean, he slapped him on the arm or whatever. I'm like, what are you? Since he slapped Rusev on the arm or whatever, so I'm like, okay.
I'm like, this guy could beat your ass right here, and your dad ain't gonna do shit. You realize your dad lost this match? Even if it was real, your dad lost. He's a loser. I'm just saying. Not saying Titus O'Neil's a loser. For these guys want to correct me, but he lost that match. That made him a loser.
He's the father of the year. Come on, he's the father of the year for last year. Come on now.
Isn't Adam Rose the father of the year for this year?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you know, father of the year for me, man, is Kanye West. I don't give a fuck what you say. Will Smith, Kanye West, those guys. You guys want to talk about good fathers right there. Will Smith, Kanye West, Uncle Phil. Come on, Uncle Phil. That's the best father of all time, Uncle Phil, hands down. J. Cole wrote a rap song, and then the first line was "First thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil." So come on.
Well, you have to go with George Lopez as the best father of all time.
No, Wapa. I can't do nothing. All those catchphrases he had in that show was so ridiculous. And his son, the son on that show. I wonder what he's doing now. If he ever wants to hit us up to get on this podcast, that'd be so lit.
Nah, you can interview him. I'm good.
That kid was so hilarious. What's he, like 22, 23 now?
I don't know.
You have to assume he's like kind of old now.
Yeah, they ended that show in 2007, so assuming he was like 16 at the time. So
you have to assume he's like in his 20s then.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Titus O'Neil's son is definitely. I hope he was acting. Actually, no, change that. Like I said, I hope he wasn't acting. I hope he legit had no idea that was gonna happen, and he was just being real. But either way, that was not a good look, bro. But let's get back on it. The main event of the evening: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins.
Now people actually weren't really feeling this match. I still thought it was really good. I thought the roles were kind of reversed. You know, Roman Reigns was pretty much the heel in the match, and Seth Rollins was the babyface. So you know, Roman Reigns was like, Are you sure you're ready for this? Are you sure you're ready for this?" So he was doing stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this is different. But I still thought this match was really good. It really started to pick up towards the end. When Roman Reigns went for the spear and he hit the barricade. And then, you know, Roman Reigns was going for the spear in the ring, but Rollins caught him with the pedigree. I don't think Triple H could ever pulled that off. So credit to Seth Rollins. That would have been a cool finish, but he actually kicked out. And Seth Rollins got him up, hit him with the pedigree, and beats Roman Reigns clean in the middle of the ring. I was shocked. I was like, oh, really?
I was happy.
I was happy too, because I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. I'm not a hater of him either, but I was happy. I was like, wow, they actually gave the belt to him. And well, a couple seconds later, Dean Ambrose comes out and cashes in Money in the Bank. Now, if you look at Renee Young's Twitter, she was going crazy for this, because I'm assuming that Dean Ambrose didn't tell her that he was gonna be cashing in Money in the Bank later that night. So, but she was going crazy on Twitter. But yeah, Dean Ambrose did the dirty deeds on Seth Rollins, and he's the champion. So yeah, I was actually happy. I'm actually a Dean Ambrose fan. He needs to start delivering more because it seems like in a lot of his matches, he seems like he just doesn't give a fuck. So he doesn't go balls to the wall in a lot of his matches. So other than that, he needs to step up his game since now he's the champion. He just needs to step up his game.
I was
So
not a fan of that at all. Dean Ambrose is champion. Dean Ambrose is not a champion. He's just not. Everybody that says he is, I don't know what you guys are seeing. I just don't see it. Dean Ambrose is not my champion. He could be your champion, but he's not mine.
here's the problem though. They make him look like such a goof every week. Even last week, they make the guy look such like a goof. Like you cannot take this guy seriously at all. I think he needs to change the character or maybe a heel turn. Like I said, they make the guy look like a complete goof all the time.
He was upset that a plant died.
I know, like this guy's a complete goof.
Like, oh, you know what? I'm like, no wonder I'm not a fan. He's not my champion. He could be your champion, but he's not mine. Seth Rollins should have won, and it should have been it. Ambrose should have cashed in and been unsuccessful. That's what I think.
I think it would have been. I think it kind of would have been a mistake to have Rollins as champion, kind of a little bit, because he just came back.
He deserves it. Ambrose doesn't deserve shit.
I understand that. But then again, Rollins just came back. You're gonna give the belt to him, and he's gonna have a long reign with it.
Ambrose doesn't deserve it. Sure as shit, he did not deserve it. He works hard, but he does not deserve to be the face of a company. Yeah, Ambrose is a guy who could be a champion, but not the face of the company champion. And yes, and why I say this, he is nothing more than a transitional champion. He is no different than having him as champion than having Alberto Del Rio take the belt right now.
Oh, that would have been awful.
No different.
Oh yeah, he's gonna lose the belt either at Battleground or probably SummerSlam. He's not gonna walk past SummerSlam as the champion at all. At all. He's not gonna get a lengthy title reign. Maybe he gets to change a character, and maybe, like I said, he turns heel, and then maybe when they give the belt to him again, if they do, then maybe have a sort of a long title reign. But other than that, he's not gonna get a long title reign.
I hope you're right, because honestly,
no, Dean Ambrose, I am right, because they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna have him walk past SummerSlam as the champion. Guaranteed.
I'm going to take that guarantee and I'm going to run with it. Because honestly, Dean Ambrose is not my champion. I like the guy. The guy's good. He works hard. I don't think he deserves to be world champion. That's a difference.
I still think he needs to step up his game, though. Like I said, the recent matches, there aren't bad matches, but he just seems like he's not trying or whatever. So other than that, I mean, he just needs to step up his game. Now he's the champion. Even though he only has 2 months with the belt, he still could put on good matches. So...
But let me just say this: congratulations, Dean. I hope you enjoy your time as champion. You deserve opportunities, but I don't know if you deserve to be the face of the company. That's what I will say. This opportunity I don't feel like you should have gotten, but I still want to congratulate you on your success. So congratulations, man. You've worked very hard in your life to get to where you are today. So congratulations on that. I don't want to discredit you or anything like that. If anybody wants to play and take my stuff out of context, I do want to say this. I do respect his work. I respect his grind, and I want to see him shine. But I don't think he deserves to be the face of the company. That's just not at all how I see it. And I do believe he deserves great opportunities, endorsements, whatever. But being the face of the WWE, being the poster boy, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's who it should be. I think it should be either Roman, Rollins, somebody else, Finn Balor.
But then I can understand that. But they can at least give the guy a shot. You know, they could give the guy a shot with the belt. You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt.
It's a waste.
I don't think they could try. You know what I mean? They could try.
I'd rather have Santino Marella have a match with Dean Ambrose than have Dean Ambrose as champion.
No, don't even.
Like, having Santino and Dean Ambrose be just as painful as having him as the champion.
I disagree with you on that, but...
I just... putting that out there. So let's talk about something else. Switching gears once again in the show. Just because we can. We did not get a chance to speak about this. Let's talk about, I don't know if you have the card. If so, can you pull it up? I do. NXT TakeOver The End. We're going to finally talk about this, guys. For those of you guys that have been pestering me on Twitter, we finally going to get a chance to talk about it for you guys. We're going to get to do our review discussion for NXT TakeOver The End. We just finished up our Money in the Bank review discussion for you guys who are just watching this part of the show. But it's for you guys. So, Tyler, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, what was the first match?
Ty Dillinger versus Adrian Kian Alma. Actually, heard this guy as Lasombra. I'd never seen any of his work, though, to be honest with you. But Ty Dillinger versus, let's say, Lasombra. Yeah, that's easier to say. Um,
Olay.
here's the thing. This match was used to get Lasombra over. Then again, by the match when the match was over, who was more over?
10, 10, 10.
So it seemed like Ty Dillinger went out there and got himself over than the other guy. So, other than that, I mean, Lasombra won with, wait, what did he win by again? I forgot what he won by.
I don't know.
Yeah, he won. All right, guys, he beat him. Let's put it as that. Ty Dillinger, jobs everybody, so which
But
is cool.
even then, Ty Dillinger was. I don't want to discredit La Sombra, but I will say that Ty Dillinger was getting over in a match with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
So Dillinger knows what he's doing. Come on, the fans are behind us. So it's
Hey,
not like a slight towards La Sombra. It's hard to be in a match with Dillinger right now and not have him get over.
if I was this over and I lost all the time, I'd be happy. So, but
All respect to him. Yeah.
all right. Here's my match of the night. American Alpha, the NXT Tag Champions versus the Revival. I thought this was match of the night. This match was so crisp for me. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. Everything just flowed perfectly, in my opinion. It just felt like total nonstop action. No pun intended. Um, you know. But really, what's your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was good. Didn't think it
Uh,
was great. It was definitely not match of the night.
oh, really?
Definitely not in any shape
I,
or form.
well,
Gable is good. Jordan's all right. They're good as a team.
actually, I
Actually,
know.
great as a team, but they're not a great match at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
Good
Actually,
match.
actually, I know what you're gonna say about the next match, but let me get started on the Revival match. What really surprised me was the Revival won with their flapjack into a code breaker. Which that's the thing. You should have worked as an old school tag team and use a finisher like that. Like what the hell? What's up with that? Anyway, I was actually really surprised because it seemed like they just got the belts. So I was like,
I think it was one of those situations where Triple H knew that those guys were getting called up and took the belts off them because of that.
oh, that's probably the case.
I think that was a
This
call
seems
on
it
his
seems
part.
like there's no other reason.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the case. I don't think it was something. I think the original plan was to have them down there, but I think Triple H was like, "Yeah, they're probably going up."
Yeah.
Because even Jericho said nobody knows what's happening for the draft. So Triple H probably knows detail, but not like everything. So he's probably like, "Yeah, I think it's best to take the belt off them."
Yep. No. No. I think you're right actually, because it seemed like there's no other reason to take the belts off them and the Revival regaining the belts even though they just lost them. So other than that, I thought this was a great match. So that's just me. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries, and let me get your thoughts on this.
Dun 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 dun. You already know. I love how everybody knows like how to mumble that song. It's crazy, but I think that in itself tells you how much I enjoyed this match. I
Yep.
definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Very slow. It was very hard to get into. I got into it my second watch of it. I thought it was good the first time. I thought it was great the second time
Really.
because I just thought the first time I was like, it was really slow, very methodical. I really wasn't feeling the tone of it, not really the pace of it. I was like, it's good, very good. I was like, it's not my favorite I've ever seen. I was like, I expected more. Watched it the second time, I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. And I was like, this is great. And that's when I was like, okay, I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. So I definitely enjoyed it. I thought that was great.
Uh,
And definitely why I don't believe what the Revival brought with American Alpha was a match of the night by any stretch of the
wow.
imagination. Not even at all. That was a good match, but no stretch of the imagination without a great match though. Where Shinsuke and Austin Aries brought the heat and made it a great match. I think that's just not what the Revival brought to the table, and I was surprised Gable didn't bring that to the table. As good as everybody says Gable is, he didn't bring that to the table. I at least I don't think he did at all
I
at
thought
the
he
end.
did.
I thought he brought good to the table. He didn't bring his best. I've seen better Gable matches than that.
Mhm.
I've seen him work better. I've seen American Alpha as a tag team better. I've seen Gable as an individual better. So I just thought they didn't. That was not great in my opinion. I thought it was very good, and but I think it possibly could be the fact that that Austin Aries and Shinsuke Nakamura followed that up and they just tore it down.
Right,
It possibly
really?
could be that, but I don't know. It could be the fact that they had that they followed up that act, but they tore it down. They tore it down.
I actually kind of disagree. I thought this was really good. To be honest with you, I mean, granted, it seems like with Austin Aries, it seems like he's not finding his groove in NXT. I don't know. You know, what I mean, it doesn't seem like the same guy. And granted, that happens to people when they get, I mean, called up to WWE or NXT or whatever. But I don't know. It didn't seem like Austin Aries is finding his groove in NXT. But other than that, I thought this match was really good. I thought Aries, with the control segments that he did, I thought he did great with it. But it seemed like it really started picking up by the end. Like the last 5 minutes, it really started picking up. So, but I thought this was really good. I didn't think this was great. Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I see rave reviews of this on YouTube, and that's your opinion. That's fine. I don't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think people thought this was amazing. I wouldn't call this amazing. I think this is really good though.
Definitely a
Austin.
solid match. Nobody can take it away from the guys.
Oh yeah, solid match. Oh yeah.
What followed this up?
Oscar versus Nia Jax.
Oh my gosh, fire! And if I had to sum that up in one word, fire. Like that was just it. If I really had to just encompass what it was a good match. I had a fun time watching it. It was fire.
I love seeing Oscar in the ring. I think she's great actually. You know, she won obviously. She's still the champion. She beat Nia Jax with what the Shining Wizard, I believe. I don't know, but yeah, I thought this was good. It accomplished. The match was very short too, which it needed to be. Yeah, I mean the match didn't really need to be that long. So nothing really to say about that. Oscar won and she looked impressive. So Nia Jax didn't look that bad either.
The
So
storytelling was amazing.
oh yeah.
That's what I really enjoyed about it. The storytelling was just so strong in it that it was great. I really enjoyed that. What followed that up?
Oh, the Joe and Balor steel cage match.
Ooh, don't even get me started. This was not match of the night by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-mm.
If I had to rank these matches, it'd be Shinsuke and Aries, then Joe and Balor, then the Revival.
Mm.
I think the Revival was top three easily. This whole card was dope,
Oh
but
yeah, all
Revival
all killer, no filler, right?
I know you love shows like that. Like I thought Ty is such a match mark, and if you guys don't already know that, Tyler, you love that stuff. And
Oh yeah,
me, I'm
yeah.
more of a storyline guy. Matches are secondary in my mind, but for you, it's the other way around, which is cool. But for me, I was like, a lot of the storytelling in the Nia Jax Oscar match was dope. The storytelling in the Joe match was cool, and just like, oh, it was so awesome. You didn't really get too much storytelling in the Aries match, but there wasn't too much story there to really get at. But it was still some dope stuff on the show, and the main event just kind of showed that as well of how good the show was. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. I mean, granted, I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I wasn't really looking too forward to the Joe and Balor match because not saying they can't have a good match, but I'm not a huge fan of steel case matches. There've been some great ones. Owen Hart and Bret Hart from SummerSlam 1994. Oh yeah, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk and SmackDown was really good. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit in 2001 in the steel case match was great. So there's been a lot of Edge and Jericho from 2002. There's been a lot of great steel cage matches, but most of them, like, in fact, you know what? There's been some good ones, but a majority of them that's been kind of boring, to be honest with you. So I wasn't really looking forward to this because steel cage matches aren't really that good sometimes, to be honest with you. But because I really don't, I'm really not a fan of steel cage matches. But other than that, I thought they did a good job. I didn't think this was great. But still thought this was really good. Um,
Definitely did a good job.
Samoa Joe actually hit the muscle buster off the top rope to get the pin, which he hasn't done that since I believe Joe and Punk 2. CM Punk Samoa Joe 2. He hasn't done that since. I don't know. Somebody else gonna correct me on that one, but I think that's the case. Um, but other than that, I thought this was a really good match. Samoa Joe retained, so I'm happy.
Definitely really good. I thought it was really good. I think this whole show, like we said, all killer, no filler. I think if you were to compare Money in the Bank to NAC Takeover, the end of the beginning, I think that's what they ended up calling the
Yeah.
final name. Uh, what would you say was a better show? What would you rate them both?
Oh wow.
Well, actually, let's not even give a rating, but let's
Yeah,
just
that's
say
the
what would you say was a better show?
I'm thinking because as much filler as Money in the Bank had, the three big money matches did deliver. Yeah, I mean, the three matches that everybody was looking for did deliver. So, but I don't know. I may have to go with NXT because of the all killer no filler format.
And there was a lot of filler on Money in the Bank,
Yeah.
so I can understand that 100%. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that of course was the end of the NXT Takeover review, but we're not done with the podcast just yet. Because Tyler, you know what time it is.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. To be honest with you. Okay.
You can't forget, man. This is big, baby. This is topic of the show. Topic of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you guys don't already know, you can submit your topics down in the comment section below here on youtube.com/GamerCentral. And you guys could let us know. And hopefully, maybe one day, one of your topics can become topic of the show. You guys can leave questions down below, and we'll answer them right here on the show. And if your question's good enough, it becomes the topic of the show. But this week's topic is about Roman Reigns getting suspended. Tyler, now let us know about
Oh
this.
no. Okay. So WWE actually issued a statement up about this. WWE has suspended Joe, no, whatever his name is, Roman Reigns for 30 days, effective immediately for his first violation of the company's talent wellness policy. Reigns issued a statement on Twitter regarding his suspension. Roman Reigns said, "I apologize to my family, friends, and fans for my mistake in violating WWE's wellness policy. No excuses. I own it." So I was actually really surprised because what? I found this last week Tuesday. I found out about this. I saw it on Twitter and everybody was talking about this. I was surprised. I'm like, wow, they're building this guy to be their next John Cena and he gets suspended for violating the wellness policy. So I was actually really surprised. So what's your thoughts on that? When you first heard about this, what was your thoughts?
I was surprised. I definitely didn't see it coming. But more importantly, how I feel right now is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
And how I feel right now is, to put it simply and very blunt and to the point, how I feel is this is complete other bullshit that Roman Reigns wants to come out and issue a Twitter statement. Oh, I own it. That's such fucking horse shit, man. You are forced to say that. You're not genuine. You have to say it. You're the company man, not being the Roman Reigns hater. But if you're even Bill Gates, if Bill Gates was caught doing some crazy shit, not drugs necessarily, but if he was caught doing some crazy shit, you have to kind of apologize to downplay it.
Oh, of
It's just
course.
marketing, it's press, it's just all this different shit you gotta handle. So it's PR relations. That's just he has to do it. And it, like when Justin Bieber was doing what he was doing, he came out and said, "Yeah, it's all good. I'm better now." You know what I mean? Not saying he's not, just saying that's what you have to do. People are gonna ask those questions, so you might as well say it. So it's complete utter bullshit that he conveniently said it as soon as it came out. But I don't know. I think he might have been genuine with it, but I think this one was more of like, I feel like I need to do this rather than, oh, I want to do this. I need to make things right now rather than, okay, I feel like things are better now. Let me speak about them or whatever. I don't think that it was like that. But I could be wrong. Roman could be a stand up guy. And from what I've seen in interviews, he seems like a very stand up guy. He seems like a very good man. I don't know, but
Do you think that
Roman,
embarrasses them? This embarrasses them since they're trying to build this guy as their next big face, and he gets suspended for this. Do you
why?
think? Huh?
Why
Wait,
Rock use steroids?
Rock did it, but it never came out. He never got suspended or anything for it. Granted, Rock never came out and said that he did steroids. But if you look at him in 2012 when he was going in that match with John Cena, it was quite obvious that he was on steroids. But still, it never came out that, oh yeah, The Rock is doing steroids, because he can deny that all he wants.
Hogan did steroids.
Hogan did steroids. Oh yeah, in fact, that scandal back in what, '92? Yeah, he did steroids. A lot of people did
Did
steroids.
Macho Man do steroids as well?
A lot of people back in the day did
So
steroids.
I honestly feel
Warrior, Ultimate Warrior did steroids. You know what I mean? A lot of people did steroids.
so I honestly feel like it
In
might
fact, in
embarrass
my
them
opinion,
now.
mhm.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was saying that I don't want to say everybody one point or another took steroids, but a lot of people hasn't. Yeah, I mean, so, but we still don't know what he took. Yeah, I mean, like why he.
I assume it's steroids. I don't. And people are like, oh, if Roman was smoking weed, that no wonder his promo on that Raw was so good. Oh man, that was the best Roman Reigns we've ever heard. I don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen. If it was marijuana, it could have been. It very
He was
well could
smoking
have
a
been.
blunt with Rob Van
I was
Dam.
about to say that, man. RVD could have been like, yo, Roman. Oh man, you need to loosen up. Why don't you come over to the crib, man? I don't have a podcast or anything, but I do have some of this. And Roman's like, believe that. And he just, I don't know. That's a scenario out there. Rob Van Dam, you already know.
No, he's
And
the whole. Well, come on, he's Mr. PPV. He's the whole fucking show. I mean, come on, come on.
I don't know if he's the whole effing show. He's the whole fucking blunt. Like, I know that, but that was kind of corny. A lot of puns were intended, but it didn't come off right. Essentially, though, Roman Reigns, I wish him the best. Hopefully, he can come back. Do you think he'll still be the face of the
That's
company?
that's the thing though, because here's the issue. Let's say if he comes back and he wins the belt, what message would that send? Yeah, I mean, that's the issue.
Well, it's
What
the
mess?
Make a Wish guy. It's Roman. It's long
Yeah,
hair.
but
It's the
yeah, that's the
guy with the wettest hair. The guy that just doesn't care.
yeah.
Like,
I mean that's
it's
that's
Roman.
gonna be an issue though. Like he's gonna come back and he's gonna win the title period. Like what the hell is this? This guy got suspended for the wellness policy, and he's gonna come back and win the belt.
Is that a
I mean, I
surprise to anybody? Would that be a surprise? Really?
I kind of to some people because they usually kind of punish people for doing that.
Usually, but he's breaking the 30. They gave him 30 days. So
Mm.
would that really be such a huge shock if he wins the belt again in the next
Yeah.
like 6-7 months? Would that be a surprise?
Oh, maybe they're not 6-7. I'm talking about like in the next two.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know if he's necessarily winning it in the next two necessarily,
Yeah, that would be a mistake in my opinion.
but I think definitely.
Down the road, I think he'll win the belt again. Don't get me
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
But
100%.
I mean, this is not the first time this happened. In fact, in 1992, they had a huge steroid scandal. Huge steroid scandal. So when everybody was getting smaller, everybody was getting fired. Warrior, even even Savage, I believe at the time. Hogan, British Bulldog even, was doing them raids. And yeah, I mean, there's a huge steroid scandal going on back at that time. And that's why they resorted to smaller guys, with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, was because, okay, all right, you have all these big guys, but here are the smaller guys, and they could, they could carry the company. So, 1992 steroid scandal was obviously way bigger than this, obviously. So, but this isn't, I want to say this is a huge deal. But I was actually kind of surprised because, like I said, they're trying to build up this guy as the next face. Yeah, I mean, and he goes and does this. I mean, granted, he's a human being. He makes mistakes, right? So,
Yeah, he's Roman's just like anybody else. I wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully, something good comes out of this, and hopefully, he tears it up at Battleground if he's in that match. Still, I hope he's not.
no, he's in that match. They even promote. He's still in that match.
I hope they take him out of the match.
They would have took him out the match. They would have said it on Monday.
That foot sucks. But you know what? That's whatever. What are you gonna do?
Eh?
But Roman being there, good for him. Take some time off. Hopefully he can come back and maybe people respect him for this. I don't know, walking around like a damn G.
Hey, they're gonna chant Roman Roids or something. They're gonna chant some shit at him. They're gonna give him so much shit when he comes
He
back.
could be straight out of straight out of suspension. He can get himself like one of those shirts, like the straight out of Compton style shirts, and he can have himself smoking a blunt or whatever.
That would be funny.
And RVD has his arm around him.
People are like, what the hell is this?
People would respect him for it. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's a G."
He'd
He'd be like Joey.
Oh, don't even.
He would be. Him and Joey need like RV. Oh, dude! Like one day we gotta get like as we grow with this podcast and just in fame, we gotta get Joey and Rob Van Dam together one day. That'd be so funny. Cause Joey would have no idea who he is, but like we would, and it'd be so hilarious. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, Joe, this is our homie Rob right here, and Rob just like, nice to meet you. He's like 55.
Oh, I know he's gonna be so old.
How old is he right now? Like 40, 41?
He's 40. He's 40 something. He's like I think he's around Jericho's age. So
Yeah,
probably
so
like
he'll be
45.
like heading over to his 60s by that time. Damn, Rob's getting up there in age, man.
Yeah, but Roman's gonna get so much shit when he comes back. I guarantee you. Because I'm going to SummerSlam, and they're gonna be in New York, and I'm just imagining the chance.
You're still going?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You and your dad going?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So you have the tickets?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's fire.
I know.
When did he talk about it?
I believe you talked about a few last week.
Oh, cool.
He said he took off. Go ahead.
He said he took off?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So you're just going to SummerSlam or NXT?
Just probably just going to SummerSlam. I'm probably gonna watch NXT on the TV.
Oh, shit. That's going to be awesome, man.
Maybe NXT and SummerSlam next year. Never know. That'll be a fun weekend. But
Wow.
they're gonna chant so much shit at him. Imagine Roman roids, go smoke a blunt or something like that. They're gonna give him so much shit.
Oh, I can imagine it's not going to be pretty for Roman Reigns come his return. But you know what? I wish Roman Reigns the best of luck. We here at the iHeart Wrestling Podcast and here at GamerCentral 101. Oh, excuse me, I said 101. We here at GamerCentral. I'm so used to like talking fast saying GamerCentral 101. We here at GamerCentral wish Roman Reigns the best of luck in his recovery from the wellness policy, I guess, or recovery from the fans' booze. I don't know what he's recovering from. Hopefully Roman Reigns just can come back and kill it, and hopefully I wish him nothing but the best. So I hope things go well for you, Roman. And here at GamerCentral, we wish you nothing but the best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the iHeart Wrestling Podcast, Episode 4. We're happy to be back. Tyler, thank you for joining me.
Hey, no problem. Talking about wrestling is what I do. So